artificial intelligence is entering the courtroom faster than courts can formally regulate it. But judges are responding with discipline, not panic. As the first sanctions are being issued for misuse of AI, we're getting a clearer picture of how the legal system is entering this new reality. One of the lines being drawn is the use of AI as a legal tool versus using it as a substitute for legal counsel. 9 News legal expert Whitney Trailer joins us now. This has just been fascinating. We've been talking about it for a while.
Yes.
Okay, so first, what are lawyers getting sanctioned for when it comes to AI?
Well, I think to fully understand it and put my answer in context, it's important to know what lawyers do, and particularly civil lawyers. And a lot of what they do is a motions practice, meaning you're not in court all the time, you're filing briefs and motions and that type of thing. And when you file a brief, you have to put case citations, and that's why it's so arduous for a lawyer to do the research and the writing, and so you're finding these cases. Well, what's happening is lawyers are using AI, and AI is creating these cases. The lawyers aren't vetting it, and so they're submitting case law that just doesn't exist. And so now we're seeing lawyers are being sanctioned by these judges.
We were talking about how, like, back in the day, back in our day, you'd write a paper for, college or high school. You'd have to go to the library and you'd have to get the book and you'd have to put a list of citations in the back where you got this. AI is kind of like circumventing all of that, which is crazy. So talk about how AI is creating cases in the first place.
Right. Well, so the text that's created by AI is based on patterns and probabilities. And so that's how these hallucinations come up, where they're actually just inventing cases that sound real, that have the actual language in it. But it's really up to the lawyer. The lawyer, when the lawyer signs a brief, he or she is attesting to the accuracy of that brief. So even if an associate wrote the brief for a partner, which happens very often, it's still expected that the partner is going to read that and ensure that it's accurate and correct. Maybe not going back and checking each of the citations, but if you have something created by AI, you better make sure those cases are accurate.
This is why we keep saying, like, AI can be used as a tool, but it doesn't replace everything, which is kind of the scary part, especially when it comes to AI in court.
Yes.
Legally, can you use AI in court?
Yes, so it's not prohibited at this point, but it's still governed by the canons of ethics and the rules of professional conduct. And so, as I said, when the lawyer submits a brief, he or she has to sign it attesting to the truth. And so it can save a significant amount of time, but it's incumbent on the lawyer to actually do the homework. And really, if it generates a bunch of case law, that's where it takes a lot of time to find those cases. So if just going back and checking, ensuring that the citations are right. And I get it that it's difficult, and even that can be time consuming, because you could write a brief that has hundreds of citations in it, but that's why lawyers are expensive, and you're expecting them to do that right, because there can be severe consequences affecting the client's case, even though it wasn't anything of their fault. I
mean, you're a lawyer. Do you think using AI is good?
I do think it's a good thing. I think it's good for several reasons. One, I have a small firm, and so it evens the playing field, because these large firms, they have partners, associates, they have research assistants, so they have a lot of resources. So with AI, I think that can even the playing field a little bit, and it's really, it saves clients money as well, because you're working on billable hours. And I remember we were talking when I started law school, my first semester, they didn't let us use any electronic research. We had to go to the books. And so going to the books, checking all those citations. So sometimes something would take 6 or 7 hours that would take maybe 30 minutes online. And so then the next semester we were able to use Westlaw and Lexis, and that's what most lawyers use. Well, now with AI, something where you might be doing 3 or 4 hours of research on Westlaw or Lexis, AI can do it in 30 seconds. So it can even the playing field, but it's still really important for the lawyer to make sure everything's accurate.
Double check the work, y'all. That's what we're saying.
Come on.
Very
get it right.
interesting.
Yes.
Right. Whitney, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to be here.
We'll be right back.